So, are we excited? Yeah. Listen, guys, so I just want to go, I want to thank you guys for having us here tonight. It's a pleasure. We love your leaders. We love Mark and Stacia. We love Kevin and Tammy, Kev and Virginia, and you know, the great thing about Primerica is that we're all here for each other and we help each other. Right. And because we know what we go through, yeah. Right? And I just want to say, if you're here, you know, great job for being here. Give yourselves a hand. There's other places we could be, and you chose to be here tonight, so you're already above the rest as far as, you know, wanting to change your life. And I just want to go ahead and get started, you guys. TMT is our team name, and we're the money team. And if we could just go to the next slide, please. So when we got started in Primerica, you know, this is where we used to live, in those apartments. Danny and I, you know, I was going to school to become, a nurse. And Danny was a store manager for Food for Less. And we were barely getting by, you guys, like barely getting by. You know, this apartment building was totally changed our life. We used to drive an '86 Ford Taurus, and the way we got that car was my mom had accumulated some bonds, you know, that she saved for me. And when I cashed them out at the age of 19, it was about $700, and this was a car we bought with that. And I remember, you know, we used to call it the two-tone Taurus because in the front it was really faded, and someone had rear-ended us, so we got it fixed through the insurance, and they only wanted to fix the back. So the back was a newer blue and the front was an older blue. And you know, I was just thankful that it would get us from point A to point B. And I just knew that, you know, I used to tell Danny, like, wow, you know, I was never complaining about where we were, because I told Danny, as long as I'm with you, poor, rich, I don't care, I'm happy, you know. But being rich is a lot nicer, you know. I tell him it's a lot nicer, babe, you know. But you know, we used to live in this one-bedroom apartment. Literally, the roaches had doom buggies. When you would turn on the lights, you would just see the roaches just start jamming, and it was sad, you guys. And we couldn't have any food at the apartment. Roaches would go all over it. You know, it was just really bad. And at the time, that was all we could afford. You know, and the reason I took a picture of that gate is because that gate and I have history. I remember when our daughter was, she was 1, and you know, Daniel Antoine is a year, you know, I literally got pregnant when our daughter was 6 weeks, okay? So when our daughter was 1, I was already having him, you know? And I remember taking Danny to work because we only had 1 car, and then I had to go to school. I remember taking him to work at 4 o'clock in the morning. Dark, everybody was still sleeping, and it was just me and my daughter and a big old belly, you know? And I had to walk to the car, come through that gate, and walk by myself, pregnant with a 1-year-old, to the apartment complex in the not so great neighborhood. And it was so scary for me to do that, but I told Danny, okay, we gotta do what we gotta do. I never let fear control me like that. I said, we gotta do what we gotta do. This is temporary, this is temporary. And so we fought hard to get out of that apartment. We did whatever we could. And when Primerica came around because my aunt had died at the age of 38 years old of a brain aneurysm. They had 5 policies, and my uncle called me one day and said, Mija, can you help me get these death claims? I just can't do this right now. I said, sure, Theo, and I called the companies, and they all asked me, how did she die? And I said, brain aneurysm, and they said, we don't cover that. So I had to be the one to call my uncle and say, Theo, they're not going to pay out. What do you mean, Mija? We've been paying for so many years. I don't know, and I felt so helpless. Within 6 months, he lost his house, he lost everything, you know? So when I saw that, I was at a birthday party through my dad's side, and my cousin was there, and my cousin said, what happened to your uncle? And I go, dude, he lost, and I started telling her. She said, do you guys have life insurance? And I said, no, we don't. I go, we do it through his work, but I don't even know how it works. She said, I can come over and show you. So she came over with Danny Chamorro. okay? Wrote us up for $29 a month because we were broke, okay? I told Danny, you probably thought that was a chargeback, huh? And he's like, I was like, shit, 29 bucks? And then I go, that's been the biggest payout for you, was that $29, you know, because Danny and I, you know, it's our organization does about 130 grand a month. Santana does another 100, that's our replacement. Just with what Danny and I have brought Danny Chamorro, it's been about 280,000 a month of production from what we brought him from a $29 sale, right? Broke. My husband said, you know, what do I got to do this? And he says, I'll show you. So Danny's the one that got started with Primerica. So that was where we used to live, and that's where we used to drive. The next one, please. You know, I talked a little bit about my mom earlier. You know, you can tell the kids are like 3 and 4. That was like our second company trip, was the Bahamas. You know, I got started, I really wanted to hit it hard like never before because my mom kept getting sick. And I knew that if I didn't deliver for her, she was gonna work for the rest of her life. And so I would wake up about 5 in the morning and I would, you know, we had to move in with her eventually. I would hear her wake up and I would think to myself, dude, my mom's getting up. She's had 2 heart surgeries. She's got all this going on and she's still up. Man, I gotta get her out of work. So every day I would talk about, every off night, I'm here because I want to retire my mom, and I would cry. Every off night I would speak. I'm here because I want to retire my mom, and I would cry. And I would tell myself, don't cry tonight. And I would still cry, right? But because my desire was so big to retire my mom, she always put herself last, always put her kids first. How can one mom take care of 4 kids and 4 kids can't take care of one mom? Right. You know, so I told Danny, I said, we gotta retire my mom, we gotta retire my mom, we gotta retire my mom. 3 years later, we retired my mom, okay? Because I got to do that we got to do that for her, and but you know, we took her everywhere. She was the mom to our kids. We took her everywhere with us, and so she was the reason why I really wanted to take it to the next level. And the next one, please. This is Danny and I. Danny and I have been married for 22 years now. We've been together for 23. We moved pretty fast, you know, and you know, Kefren, 14 years dating, oh my God, right? 3 months later, he proposed to me. Oh my God, we went fast, right? We did everything backwards. We got pregnant, we moved in, then we got married, right? And we did everything backwards. Our wedding was a $600 wedding in Vegas, okay? And that was because I wanted to go clubbing because I had just turned 21. Literally, I'm not kidding. I'm like, Danny, if we could go gamble and get married at the same time would be perfect, right? And that's what we did. We went to Vegas and got married. I was, I think, 7 months pregnant with Anthony when we got married. But that day, you know, he told me, he says, babe, our situation's temporary. I'm gonna do whatever I need to do to get our family where we need to be, you know? And he used to take me to the houses in Beverly Hills. We had $20 a week to our name. And it was, you know, his lunches had to be oranges. We would go to my aunt's house, cut the oranges. I would cut them so he could have that for snack at lunch. And we bought a thermos of water where he had to drink that water. He couldn't afford to buy a water. And that's how broke we were, because everything was just so tight with everything, you know? And then we realized it's not us, it's the vehicle that we're in, you know? It was everything we had to, you know, it's hard now, you guys, for a household that brings in $6 grand a month to be able to survive. You know, everything's so expensive. We're paying about $1,500 a month in daycare, right? That's a lot of money. Okay, so anyway, he would take me to Beverly Hills with the last 20 bucks. He'd fill up the Ford Taurus. He'd park like a block away, and we'd walk to the house. And he'd say, don't answer any questions. I'm gonna answer the questions. So we'd walk into the house, and the realtor would be like, hi, you guys looking? He's like, yeah, we're looking, but our budget's like $2 to $3 million. You know, do you have a real estate agent? No, not right now. We want to do it on our own. happen, that we walk around the house and the kids would be like, this is my room, no, that's my room, no, that's my room. And we would be like, man, and we started painting the picture for ourselves. And this is before joining Primerica. Before joining Primerica, we would do things like that. Next one. And now we have a little granddaughter. She's so spoiled, that little girl, right? She's team light skin. She's African American and Mexican, right? She speaks both languages. She's so funny. And look at her. That's her in the office. She took that down so everybody in the office was like, take a picture, so that she posed for them. She took that off our desk. And, you know, I just feel, you know, so we have our daughter who's 22. He's going to be 21 in August 4th. Our daughter that just turned 22 last week, for her birthday, we got her, he actually said, Mom, I want to contribute to her gift. We got her a diamond tennis bracelet. She was like, ah, right? For his thing, he's turning 21. And I just told Danny, I just don't know what to do for him, right? And he comes to me and says, Mom, Drake's having a concert in Toronto on my birthday. I go, go. We laid down $2,000 just on concert tickets for him to go, right? And to be, the whole bake shop's jealous because he's only taking one person. They're all upset, right? But to be able to do things like that when they were little, every toy they got was from a yard sale. Every toy they got was from the swap meet or a yard sale. And then when they were done with that stage, we'd clean it up and then we'd have a yard sale. You know? I don't remember buying them one toy that was brand new when they were little. And to be able to do that now, to be able to do things like that now, because we knew that Primerica was a great vehicle to get ahead and to know that we're helping families. You do it at your own time. You don't have a boss. How many of you guys love your boss? Okay? So to not have a boss, to me that was ridiculous. I was working at Kaiser and I got Employee of the Year, right? And I didn't go because I was pregnant. And the real reason I didn't go was because the dinners were $80 a ticket and I couldn't afford to pay $160 for 2 tickets. The next day my friend says, you got Employee of the Year? I go to my supervisor and, yeah, and I go, Rosin, I heard I got Employee of the Year. She goes, yeah. I go, I heard I got a gift. She goes, I'll check. She comes back with a t-shirt that doesn't even fit me because I was pregnant, you know? And that was after a whole year of hard work, you know? And in Primerica, you write up, you get recognized. In Primerica, you do this, you get recognized. Recognition, we're all about recognition. We want to feel good, right? So right here is where you could come and you could separate yourself from everybody. You could outwork everybody. You could, you know, our son wakes up at like 5 in the morning, goes, I'm asleep by the time he gets home. You know, he's 20 years old, he goes, Mama, I want to get my own place. I go, no, not yet. Not yet, Mio, wait, Mom, but I want to get, no, not yet, keep saving your money. He saves 40% of his income. Okay, 40%, making $17,000 a month is pretty good saving for him, right? Okay, so and I love seeing that because we paid the price for them to be able to do that. You know, he has kids that tell him, you know, his age, oh, that's Mom and Dad's money, da, 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 da. I tell them, don't be mad because my parents love me and did this for me. Why are you hating? I'm a little bit of a shit talker too, you know, because we paid a price, you guys. We were at appointments when people were partying. We were doing KTs when people were celebrating things. We paid a big price, and I know you are too. I know you are, right? The next one, so that's our granddaughter. We also have a 12-year-old daughter. She's our little princess. That little girl, I went to Sephora the other day. She tells the lady, I need a good moisturizer. And I look at her and she goes, the girl goes, I got one for you. So we walk over to the moisturizer and I'm looking at her. This one does this and this one does that. So we leave and the moisturizer and the facial cleanser cost $130. Oh. I look at her. you just spent 130, and she goes, Mom, I gotta keep my face looking good, Mom. 12 years old. Is that insane? Okay, but she's reaping the rewards that her brother and sister sacrificed. Time away from their parents, time away from, my mom was their mom, right? This is a few things now. Let me just tell you guys a little bit about that convention. That was 2 years ago in Indy. You see the top left corner? Yeah. Now, our son, I did his IBA. He didn't really want to do the business. I just did his IBA because we had to do 20, right? So anyway, so when we were leaving to the convention, this is you guys, like, we were only back for a couple months when this happened. Because I didn't mention it, and I don't think I saw the picture there. I had brain surgery 7 years ago, okay? I was having really bad headaches. My mom had passed away, and the doctors kept telling me, you're depressed. And I'm like, then why does my head hurt so much? Because you cry all day. Take these, Vicodins, hydrocodone, all these pain pills, right? I could not sleep unless I took one pill a night. If not, I felt like my head was throbbing. I was having all these flashes of like yelling at Danny, like, shh! Just wasn't myself. And they were telling me, you're depressed. I saw a psychiatrist, and she's talking to me about my issues. And I'm looking at her, and I'm like, I'm not depressed in my head. I don't need to be here. I'm in my head, I'm like, I don't need to be here, right? So one day, we're at op night, and I tell Danny, I just don't feel good. And he goes, suck it up. I go, shit, all right. So I go up there, and I'm talking, and I'm like, after I'm done speaking, I tell him, I don't feel good, I need to go to the ER. And he took me to the ER. The doctor says, I don't even know how you're walking. I don't know how you're standing. I don't know how you're even up. He says, your brain tumor is so big that it has squeezed your brain to the right side of your face. That's how big your brain tumor is. And your brain is suffocating. And he goes, honey, you're not going home, we need to operate you. And I said, okay, when? And he was like, in a few days, we gotta get your blood levels right, we gotta do this to prepare you for surgery. And I said, okay, perfect. Went into that brain surgery. After that brain surgery, I was good. I was like, I remember the doctor saying, are you good? And I go, I need grape juice. And he looked, and everyone's like, grape juice, get her grape juice, get her grape juice, right? Because before that surgery, I heard the doctor telling my husband she might not make it. And I remember my son walking into my room. He made it obvious. It was written all over his face how scared he was for me. And I looked at him and I said, mijo, I'm gonna be okay, but I need you to step out of the room if you're not gonna have good vibes. Go back and come back in, please. I need good vibes. And so he left and then he came back, right? So after that surgery, that night in the ICU, you couldn't have any visitors from 7 in the night to 7 in the morning. And I remember having leg pain, and I kept telling the nurse, my leg hurts, check my leg. And all he would do was squeeze the button for more morphine. So I would fall asleep again, I'd wake up, my leg, more morphine. And so in the morning when the next nurse came, I said, Patty, check my leg. Alvin hasn't been wanting to check my leg, check my leg. So she looked at my leg, she lifted the covers, and her face was like this. She says, honey, your leg is purple. She didn't do any tests. She called the surgeon, doctor, I need you to come. We need to operate this young lady before she loses her leg. Okay? That surgery was about another 10 hours. When I came out of that surgery, half my body was paralyzed. And I couldn't move, I couldn't write, I couldn't do anything for about 6 months, And so the mental toughness that we get here is just amazing, because I knew that I fired my physical therapist. Because he would come, I was just a job to him. So I told him, look, if you're not gonna be excited about getting me better, please don't come back. Right. Yeah. And he looked at me and I go, just what exercises do I need to do? He's like, okay, don't come back. And I fired him. And then, because I know, look, if you're not with me, then you're against me. That's right. And that's how our team works. We gotta be accountable to each other. We gotta be there for each other. Because if we're gonna win, we gotta pull this thing together, and that's what this team has to do. We got to sit there and say, let's get Mark and Stacia Cox to the top. Let's get Kevin and Tammy. Let's get Virginia and Kev. Let's get this going. Let's be the difference maker. Let's spark it up. Let's get it going. You know what? And that's what our son did for us. He came in there. We were wounded. People talking crap about us. Oh, they suck. They left us when we got sick. When I got sick. Da 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 da. And he was like, Mom, and I'm like, Mijo, just bring people. We'll figure it out. Just bring them, bring them, bring them. And that's what he did.
Awesome.
You know, and that's what we did with for Danny Chamorro. He was doing 10 by 10 as a brand new RVP when we joined his business. And we said, we gotta get him to 30 by 30, 30 by 30, let's get him to 30, and then 50 by 50, and we were fighting to help him rise. You go home and you're too self-centered into your own life that you forget that there's others relying on you. And that's why success is a responsibility.
Right.
And you guys, I was so depressed not being around Primerica when I was sick. Literally every day I was like, but I knew I needed to heal. I mean, they shaved my head, cut from here to there. My leg was cut everywhere. You know, I had to heal. You know, but the environment's amazing. Okay, I don't want to take all you guys' time. I have a habit of doing that. That's why I always like to go last. I'm like, just leave me the last, leave me the last. Okay, do we have another slide after this one? Okay, is there another picture after this? Oh, so I was getting into the convention with him when I did his IBA. He didn't know. Well, he didn't know, but he didn't know. Okay, so he was so devastated because he knew he couldn't do football anymore because of his 3 stomach surgeries, okay? And he was in a dark place, and I knew it. I felt it, I knew it. They had never been to any Primerica function. I wasn't the parent that took my kids to meetings. I didn't take them to the office because they would just distract me, right? So he had never been to a Primerica meeting. Is that crazy?
Yeah.
So we were leaving to the convention. We had rented a van. We had 9 people with us, our base shop in one van, okay? And I told him, dude, we're gonna look stupid going with 9 people, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, let's take Tuan. So I go in there and he's in his room and I look at him and then I go, what are you doing this week, bro? Person who refused to give up. People, if you guys see the crap people talk to him about his stuttering, oh, what? I can't understand you, bro. Say it again. And it was a lot of stuff like, don't listen to that. Stay focused. Don't listen to people talking crap. Stay focused. Don't let them bring you down. Don't get to their level. You rise above that. Da 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 da. Rise above, rise above. You be a good person. As long as you do it with your heart, you have no regrets. Stay above it, stay above it. And I tell them, can you picture those kids being so mad? I wonder what love they didn't get. For people to tear other people down like that, how sad it would be to have their heart. Next one. There was people missing. That's our hierarchy at the convention. From 25 people 2 years ago to over 150 people at our convention in our hierarchy. Is that amazing?
Yeah.
And it's a blessing to lead a lot of people, you guys. It's a blessing to be alive to even, you know, I told Danny, dude, if I can get through brain surgery, I can get through anything.
Yeah.
If I can get through my mom passing away, I can get through anything. My dad died 2 years ago. I told him I'm an orphan. Now I know what it's like to not have parents. And it's really sad. So if you have parents, you gotta fight to retire them. You gotta fight, you know, if you don't have parents anymore, you have kids, fight to set them up for life. All you gotta do is take no's. No, I don't want to. No, I quit. No, go get more.
Right.
Chamorro didn't have to convince us to stay. I remember seeing Sue Younger come to a meeting and she had tennis shoes on, but she had diamonds. And we're telling Danny, that white lady's a millionaire? He goes, that's Sue Younger. And I go, dude, she's white and she's wearing tennies? Dude, I can do this. And then at a first off night with Danny Chamorro, he had some girl named Yvette Dorame. She was like a chola. And she was up there and she was like, yeah, and then, you know, my girls, and I tell my girls all the time, I'm like, chale, like, vale, like, and I'm listening and I'm like, dude, if she can be up there, I can be up there. If she can do it, I can do it. And Danny, he can't even spell. He would write quotes on the wall and like every other word was misspelled. And I'm like, dude, if he could do it, you could do it. Because he doesn't spell that great either. When he's texting Alba, how do you spell this? Yeah, it's so funny. But you guys, you could come here and be an average person, you could be smart, you could be stupid. Rick Susie said he's stupid, that's why he's still in the business. That's why he was on, I thank God every day I'm stupid. That I didn't listen to everybody tell me that I was stupid enough to follow the business. You know? You can come from any background. You could come from any, you know, this is about staying together, achieving greatness for your family. If we were to die today, me and Danny, our kids are set. They're set. They can keep running our business or they can sell our business. I hope they don't sell it, right? They got life insurance coverage. They're set. Okay? That wouldn't have happened before Primerica. So I just want to give up. Are you gonna come next, Anthony? Or? Yeah. Okay. And then we'll let the top dog finish it up. Right? He's the man that like controls me, right? People think he's quiet and I'm like, oh no, if I do something wrong, I get it when I go home. Why'd you do that? I don't know, shit. I did it already, just leave me alone, right? And sometimes I say some off the wall stuff and I'm like, oh man. Or like we had Vivek come out and I guess Axel's not there no more. So they had this new guy, and I go, oh, so they like downgrade or downsize. And Danny looked at me like, shut. And I'm like, I mean, how many downsize or downgrade? I mean, you know what I mean. He's looking at me like I'm sorry, I just noticed. So I say some stuff sometimes, and I'm like, but this young man, you guys, look, he's 20 years old. He's gonna be 21 August 4th, and I remember the day, you know, he tells me, Mom, and I'm like, I deserve every penny I make off you, dude. You had a big ass head when I had you, you know? That shit was painful. And he just laughs, you know? But he's on a mission, you guys, and I mean, he had another person pass their test today, so he's at 8 for the month. And, creating a licensing machine, and you know he's bound to explode. And the commitment he has though to his team, to his people, to his family. You know, he took me on Mother's Day and he took me to Ben Baller, and he already had like 4 things that I could choose from. And he goes, Mom, pick one. And I looked at him and I looked at the lady, and then he walked away. He goes, pick one, Mom, I'll be right back. Look at the lady, I go, which one's the cheapest one? She goes, I can't tell you. I go, if you don't tell me, I'm not gonna buy anything from you anymore. She goes, I can't tell you. He told me not to tell you how much anything is. I go, I need you to tell me how much. And so I'm like looking online, like, cause a mom, you don't want to make your kids spend a lot of money. So I was like, I really wanted the cross and no, the earrings, and that's what I got, the earrings. And then, so he's such a giving person, and you know, I'm so proud of you, mijo. I know you're gonna be huge. Give it to my awesome son.
Okay, you know, like my story in Primerica, I think my mom pretty much told it. You know, I joined at the convention. I didn't even want to go to the convention because I was like, dude, I'm not sitting in the car for like 40 hours, dude. You got me twisted. And you know, because, you know, I'm just let the slides come up for real quick. But you know, I played football my whole life. You know, I always tell people, you know, I never knew I knew what Primerica did, like insurance and investments. I knew you had to build a team because I would just see new people all the time. And but I never knew really how it worked, until I went to the convention. And what made me join was I was at the convention, and then I seen a dude, who was, like the Primerica's youngest millionaire. I was like, man, this guy could do it. I was like, bro, I could do it 20 times better. And that's all I remember telling myself. I was like, dude, I'm a winner. I was like, dude, I could recruit people. I used to recruit people to sell chips for me in high school. In high school I used to sell chips, and I had to convince them that I was giving them a good deal, which I wasn't. Because I would fill up like 10 duffel bags. I would fill up 10 duffel bags, right? And I would line them up in the morning, like 30 chips each. I line them up, and because I thought making money was like a fun game to me. I just wanted to make money. I wanted to like be the man, and so I thought it was a fun game. So I would get like 10 bags, line them up, like 30 bags, and 30 bags of chips in each bag, and I was selling for $1. And I would bring it to school in the morning, and I would have to recruit my friends. So I was already kind of used to recruiting. I'd be like, hey, Kefren, hey, bro, you want to make money? And then they'll be like, yeah, sure, whatever. Be like, hey, bro, so if you walk, because my high school had like 4,500 students, so it was a huge high school. And I was like, hey, Kefren, if you walk around with this bag all day, dude, you're not gonna have to say anything, because everybody knows the dude walking around with a duffel bag sells chips, right? So I'm like, dude, you're not gonna have to say anything. All you're gonna do is give them the chips and collect the money. And if you sell out at the end of the day, I'll give you $5, bro. I'll be like, hey, bro, but look, that's $25 a week. That's $25 a week just for walking around. You walk around anyways, right? And then I would make like $100 a day profit on selling chips. And so I was already kind of used to recruiting people. So when I got to Primerica, that was like the funnest part for me, because I'm like, I get to recruit. Like when I played football in high school, our team sucked so bad when I got there that I would have to recruit kids from other schools. Like, hey, bro, come with us. We can win a championship together, bro. We can win a championship. So I was already kind of used to recruiting. So when I came into Primerica, like I remember my dad did like. I say he did 3 presentations for me, because he only did it for 3 days. My dad gave me 3 days of presentations, and within my first 3 days of Primerica, I probably sat my down with like 40 people, and I would just have them come to the office like every hour, boom, 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 and I sat him down with like 40 people, picked up like 10 directs in 3 days, and then one day I had a guy come to the house, and he was like a college graduate. I was 18 years old, so I was like, dang, I need to recruit this guy. He's smarter than me. He just graduated from college. I'm a college dropout. And then I was like, hey, Dad, this is like my 4th day. I was like, hey, Dad, my boy Danny coming to the house right now. Can you do the presentation for him? He goes, I'm not doing that shit. Like, just straight up, I'm not doing that. And I was like, bro, what are you talking about? I got so mad. He goes, here's the presentation. He put it in the backyard and he walked inside. He was like walking inside. I was like, bro, where are you going? And that's when I started doing but that's how you get good at the business. You have to get good at by doing it by yourself. So like with my people, I do like 2-3 presentations for them. Do it by yourself. And I think that's how you develop leaders too. Okay, it's not loading? Oh man. Okay, so when I had gotten started, I wish you guys could see how I used to dress, because you guys would be like, what? This guy sells insurance now? I used to go to high school and go to college. Like I thought like looking like a thug was like the coolest thing. Because where I went to high school at, a lot of people are gangbangers. So I went to San Fernando High School. If anybody knows where that is, it's right next to Pacoima. Pacoima is probably like the worst spot in the valley. So, so I went to, so I would dress up and I would be wearing like a white, white beater. You know what those are? Like the white, you know what I'm talking about. And I would wear baggy basketball shorts, and I would sag my shorts. And then I'll have my like underwear showing. I'll walk around like this. I used to wear like Air Forces every single day. I had short hair. I had my, I have my mustache right now, but I had like my goatee, and I had tattoos. I got my first tattoo at 13 years old. Because I told that was when my mom was sick, so I took advantage. You know, I told her, I was like, hey mom, go get a tattoo. She was like, all right, whatever. You know, so I used to dress like a straight, like, you know, a funny guy, right? And then now it's crazy because, you know, so when I had gotten started, I didn't know how to dress for Primerica, you know, because I never dressed like that. I used to wear the LA hats, the black one with the white, I used to all of that, the white sock hat, like, you know, and I come from a football background, so when I got started in Primerica, you guys, I was like, how do I dress? I was like, I never worn like dress-up shirts, ties, and I just remember telling my mom and dad telling me, when you go to appointments, you better wear a tie, bro. And so I didn't know how to dress. So when I had gotten started, I had no clothes and I had no money because I wasn't even licensed yet. And watch, look, check this out, you guys. So it took me like 2 months to get licensed. You know, I failed my test and I was like, I hate tests, you guys. I hate them with a passion. I was a 2.0 student in high school, but when I went to college, I actually had a 4.0 in college for my first semester. But I went to school in Utah, so there was nothing to do in there. So I thought, so I thought doing homework was fun. Because dude, you go to their parties and people are like, yo, what's up? What's up, brother? You know, so it's funny because when you go from like going to parties from Pacoima to southern Utah, you know, it's a lot different. So you know, that's why I blame them for having a 4.0. But and then so when I had gone to college, I played Division I football. You know, that's what I did my whole life. I have best friends in the NFL right now. I have really good friends going to the NBA this year. I have a lot of people, playing professional sports that I personally are friends with. And so that's what my path was like my whole life. And when I got into college, I had gotten sick, and I had like 4 stomach surgeries. Long story short, I couldn't play football anymore because every time I would work out, I would feel like I would have to throw up because my stomach was so weak. And so that's when Primerica was kind of, that was when football was kind of out of the picture for me. So I was like, dude, football just got taken away from me. I played for Team USA. I had the pictures up. I was really good in football. And when that got taken away from me, I was like, damn. I was like, what am I gonna do now? I was like, I'm nothing now. And I just remember telling myself, I was like, what else is there for me? And I remember telling my mom and dad, I was like, hey, if I don't make it in football, I'm gonna do Primerica. So guess what? I was like, hey, I'm gonna do Primerica. And my mom was like, okay, if you don't go to this convention, I'm not gonna let you do Primerica. And look, but funny story, when I was 18 years old, I had no college offers yet. I had no Division I college, I only had Division IIs, and I was like, I'm not a D2 player. And I was like, I'm not going to no D2, I'm not going to Eastern New Mexico for what? And so I remember telling my mom one time, I was like, hey, I want to do Primerica. And my mom was like, okay, look, how about this? I'll let you do Primerica. I had just turned 18 years old. And my mom was like, hey, if you could go get 10 numbers right now, because everybody was going prospecting. If you could go get 10 numbers right now, I'll let you do Primerica. I was like, dude, I get people's numbers all the time. I was like, I get girls' numbers. I was like, I get everybody's numbers. That's easy. And then I remember going with my cousins and all that because they do Primerica too. And I remember going and we went to a TJ Maxx and there was like and I was trying to get my numbers and I didn't talk to one person. I didn't even, dude, hey, go prospect that guy. I'll be like, I feel like it wouldn't come out. And I remember one time, my cousin was like, hey bro, go find an old Mexican lady that, that probably doesn't speak English and just ask her for her number because you're not gonna get it, but just get comfortable doing it. I found an old Mexican lady, I walked up to her and I was like, she looked at me like, bro, what? Because it wasn't coming out. And then after that, I went to college, I started doing Primerica, and I thought it took a long time to win in Primerica, but it doesn't. It takes a lot of work. So it's crazy, you guys. I always tell people, dude, I was in speech class from like kindergarten to 8th grade. I graduated like 8th grade from speech class. They were like, hey, you're not as bad, you're not as bad yet. and it's, I always tell people, like, what company is gonna pay a 20-year-old who dropped out of college, who, you know, who probably can't even spell the word alphabet. You know, what company is gonna pay a 20-year-old, you know, dude, in the past 3 months, I made $57,000. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I made $57,000 in the past 3 months, and I'm like, what company's gonna do that for me? And when I got started in Primerica, you guys, all I knew was I just wanted to be #1. You know, I saw these people getting trophies. I'm like, I want to get a trophy. I was like, I want to be winning. And then so I saw what they had to do, and then that's when I started doing it. But man, it's like, it's crazy. Like, you know, and you know, and I always tell people what got me into Primerica wasn't selling life insurance. I was like, dude, dude, and when I recruit people, you guys, when they hear life insurance, sometimes people are like, what? So life insurance? And what I tell them, they're like, okay, bro, look, check this out, bro. If there was a guy on the corner selling potatoes and he was making $1 million a year selling potatoes, you know, would you listen to that guy? He goes, yeah. I was like, why is that? Oh, because he's making money. Okay, great. So would you agree that sometimes it depends, you know, it doesn't matter what you do, it depends who you do it with? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, okay, great. Okay, great. And you know, I started building a recruiting mentality. I started recruiting a bunch of people. Like right now for the month, I'm at like 58 IBAs right now for the month. So we're gonna hit 100, and I just want to recruit so many people that you know, what got me into Primerica wasn't selling life insurance, it was finding people who are good at selling life insurance. Yeah. You know, because the best thing about Primerica, I have people on my team who are better than me. I'm like, hey bro, I'm glad to have you on my team, bro. I'm glad to have you on my team. You know, but isn't that the dream? Yeah. That you have people on your team that are better than you. Right. I'm like, dude, sometimes I get stuck in the presentation, and I'm like, yeah, and I just kind of blank out. I'm like, what were we talking about again? Oh yeah, right. We're on the road 72, and it's funny. So I produce over 190 licensed agents, you know, since I've been in Primerica, and if I could do it, why can't you do it? Right. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because, you know, I tell people all the time, like 2 years ago, I was asking people if they wanted tapatio with their chips. And then now I'm driving one of my, you know, it was one of my dream cars, you know, and crazy story, I have 2 crazy stories I want to share before I hop off the stage. You know, I believe in dreaming big. You know, if you have to grow your dreams, because, you know, I always tell people, like, if you could dream it, it's for you. You know, I remember being, you know, when I had first joined the business, you know, I just remember I was like, I want to get a Rolex. I was like, I loved watches. I was like, hey, I thought a Rolex was like a staple that you made it. And I was like, hey, I want one. So I went to the jewelry store in the Topanga Mall. The Topanga Mall is probably like 30 minutes away from me. So I went to the jewelry store and I saw a Rolex in the, you know, in the glass thing, and I was like, damn, bro, that's nice. So I walked in, but this is back when I used to dress like, you know, what I was just saying. And the guy was like, I was like, hey, bro, can I try on the Rolex? And he goes, are you a qualified buyer? And I was like, I don't know, what's a qualified buyer? I was like, what's a qualified buyer? He goes, oh, okay, if you want to try it on, you have to get pre-approved. And I was like, okay, how do you get pre-approved? What does pre-approved mean? I was 18 years old. And he goes, oh, we have to put in a credit application. And all I remember is my mom telling me, don't run your credit. so I'm like, all right, cool. I was like, all right, I'm good, bro. I just wanted to try it on. And I got so mad. I left that jeweler. I'm like, dude, I'm going to make this guy remember me. So, and I promised myself, I was like, dude, I'm going to go get that watch in 4 months. And then 4 months later, I come back to the jeweler and I was ready to buy it. And he wasn't there, and I was like, hey, I remember his name, hey, when's Kevin gonna be here? And they're like, oh, he's gonna be in tomorrow, you know, today's the day off. I was like, okay, great. So I leave the Topanga Mall just to come back a day later, and I see the same guy, and I'm like, hey bro, I wanna buy that Rolex, and he goes, oh, for real? He looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like, here's the money. And then he goes, what? He goes, okay. And then you know, right here, and then he's wrapping it up for me. I was like, hey bro, I just want you to know next time that you better, you know, if someone asks you to try something on, you better let them try it on, bro. Because I came back I was here 4 months ago, and you didn't even let me try on the watch I just bought for me. And then he goes, oh shoot. He goes, oh, I'm sorry, sir. You want some water? You know, like you already know you're a client when they give you water, right? And the second story was, when I had bought my car. So when I had bought my car, I wanted to get an S550 Mercedes first, which is like a $90,000 car. And I was gonna go get that one first, and I went to the Mercedes dealership, and I think it was in Encino, which is pretty like a bougie area. And I walked in with my boy, and then we were like, hey, can someone help us out? No, dude, we were sitting there for like probably 40 minutes. No one asked us nothing. And I'm like, damn, this is crazy. So I'm like, you know what, let's go. On the way back, my boy was like, hey, bro, you should get a Corvette, blah, blah, blah. I was like, Corvette? I was like, I want something foreign. If it's not foreign, it's boring. And I remember telling that. My boy was a division leader, and we were driving in his Honda. And then we pulled up to, he was like, bro, just test them out, bro. We went on a test drive, 650 horsepower, 650 pounds of torque, and I was like, I'm sold, bro. And I bought my first, like right now I drive a $100,000 car at 20 years old. And that's only like $1,700 a month. But hey, when you're making 17, that's nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, this is crazy. And then Danny Chamorro tells me all the time, he goes, bro, imagine what the next 5 years are gonna look like. I was like, dude, I just joined 18 months ago. I was like, all right, whatever you tell me, bro. I was like, all right. But I always tell people, you gotta have a vision so big. I always tell my team, imagine being in a room, like a dark room, okay? Imagine being in a dark room, because we live in a dark world. I don't know if you guys know that. Negativity sells. If you guys ever look at my Instagram, people talk crap on my Instagram all day long about me. I'm like, bro, why you even follow me, dude? We live in a dark world, and when someone has a vision, guess what happens? Everybody tries to shut them down. Everybody tries to turn them against them and try to shut them down. And imagine this room dark. Imagine closing your eyes and you're in a dark room, and then you have you're the only imagine this room full of 100 people, whatever, and imagine everybody in the room that they can't see nothing. And imagine you're the only one with night vision goggles on, okay? And you can see everything. You're the only one that has vision in the room. Guess what the people are gonna try to do? They're gonna try to take away your goggles. They're gonna try to break them. They're gonna try to do whatever they can not to let you get to the door, because guess what? They can't see. They're jealous at you that you see a vision that they can't. So guess what? A lot of people are gonna try to tear you down, and with me, I tell my team all the time, I'm like, dude, if I was in that dark room, someone trying to take my vision, bro, I'm swinging on everybody. You gotta fight for your vision just as much as you're willing to fight for your life, because it's your life that's depending on it. If you don't make it here, I knew Primerica was my last option. Primerica was my last thing that, dude, if I don't make it here, I fail at everything. Because if you fail in Primerica, I guarantee you won't go somewhere else and be successful. I guarantee it. Okay? So, I want to welcome, the awesome Daniel Barragan.
Everybody in this room is here for a reason, right? You're not here because you don't have anything else to do. You're here for a reason because there's something missing, and that's why you're here. Raise your hand if you're brand new, if this is your first time. I want to thank you guys for coming out here tonight. We appreciate that. I want to share my story, how I grew up, because everybody has a story to tell, but let me ask you, is yours worth telling? Okay, we upgrade our phones, we upgrade everything, but when's the last time you upgraded yourself? Okay, and a lot of people focus on all the negative things that they've passed in their lives, instead of saying, these are things that kind of made me who I am. Okay, and I kind of want to share those with you, because I know everybody here has a story. And I grew up in Pacoima. It's not Pacoima Hills, it's Pacoima. Okay, Pacoima's not a very, lucrative place to be at. Okay, and I grew up in the 80s. Okay, so back then it was a lot of drug dealing and all kinds of stuff. Crackheads walking the street. You couldn't even walk down a certain block because every block was a different gang member. Something was going on, a pimp. Something was going on. Okay, And that's just the way I grew up. And I'm sure that some of you guys have probably a worse story than mine, okay? But I want to share with you how I grew up, and maybe it can help you in the future, because, there's only, when I now school's a little different, right? But, when you go from elementary from kindergarten to elementary, I think there's only like 6 grades, right? Okay, well, I went to 8 elementaries, okay? I went to 4 junior highs. I went to one high school, and I went to one junior college, so I went to 13th grade. You know what 13th grade is, right? Junior college. Okay? You just see all your friends from 12th grade there. Okay? That's basically what it is. Okay? All the people that did pass their SATs, all the people that school wasn't for them, but their parents forced them to go to college, right? And you do it because your parents taught you to do it, right? I was one of those kids, right? School, like when I went to school, the only thing that interested me were the girls, sports, and history. Okay, I'll stay up at night watching History Channel, watching like ancient aliens, conspiracy theories, all kinds of crazy stuff. That's how I'm wired. Okay, I like learning things. Okay, you guys are laughing. You guys probably watch it too, right? But my dad died when I was 3 of a heroin overdose. Okay, it's okay. I appreciate it, but look, everybody makes a choice, and he was my example of what not to do. I love my dad, but he taught me what not to do. See, we all have examples of things not to do, but we choose not. Sometimes we choose not to do them. Okay, so I grew up with a single mom. My mom worked. She worked her ass off all the time. Like when I say this, I don't say this in a bad way, but look, when women are single, they're vulnerable, and sometimes they go through men. I'm just being honest. Okay? Because they're looking for somebody to help them out in their situation. Because if they had money, they wouldn't be looking for a man.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that's the example that I had, and so I grew up a lot with my grandfather, and he lived right across the street from the projects. Okay, so I grew up with a lot of gang members. Like all my uncles are in and out of jail. They're with their county boots every time hey, where's Uncle Larry at? Well, he's on vacation. And everybody was always on vacation. Right? That was a famous word in my house and in my surroundings. They're on vacation. I'm like, what do they do? Because I never see them. Right? But once I got older, I understood. Like I have an uncle that's one of the founding members of a prison gang. Okay? So like my background goes, it's really gangsters. You see what I'm saying? It's really like if you see me and you see my family, like, yeah, he doesn't. You sure, bro? Right? Like when Alba and I first got together, I would never take her to go see my family. She thought like, is he wanted? What's up with this guy, right? And then finally when she met them, she was like, oh, okay, I see. Right? And I didn't have no warm market, because they're always on vacation or something. Right? So, I grew up in that kind of environment where it wasn't, in Pacoima, look, when I grew up there was either you sold drugs, or you worked a shitty job, or you worked for Price Fister that was paying $12 an hour back then, like in the early 90s or late 80s. Okay? There wasn't a lot of things that were there for the community. Okay, and I was fortunate enough that my mom remarried, and we moved to Los Angeles. I went to Fairfax High School, and that's what kind of switched the point around for me, because I saw a lot of different cultures. I saw a lot of different surroundings. Like that's why I had friends that lived in Beverly Hills, and I'm like, man, how do you get to Beverly Hills? Like I always wondered. I grew up in Pacoima, and when you grow up in Pacoima, you always look out. You're like this when you walk out, because you never know who's outside. Okay, and I used to take the bus to the Northridge Mall when they first opened it, and I would always think, why do people have like no bars on their windows? There's no gates, there's no pebbles or Doberman pictures. Right? I always wondered that, and I was always a dreamer when I was a little kid, and that's why like Alba shares a story. Like I would take her to Beverly Hills because I said one day I'm gonna have one of these houses. I'm gonna drive one of these cars. I'm gonna be somebody. and school wasn't for me. Like, I just passed with C's. You know, I remember I ditched for like a whole month and they still passed me, and I was like, damn, I should maybe ditch it more, you know? Right? I guess they're just trying to get me out or whatever it was. And, you know, when Primerica came along, it's look, like, how would I say this? You get caught up, like, either you go to school, because that's what our parents teach us, go to school, get a job, you're gonna get a good education, you're gonna get benefits and all that stuff, and some of us do that. Then we're still like the chocolate bunny, we look good in the outside, but we're hollow in the middle, right? Okay? And you start figuring out that it's not getting you nowhere. I started when I was 32, I had to go back, move in with my mother-in-law and live in the fifth bedroom. You know what it's called? That's called the converted garage. Okay? If you live in a minority area, there is no garages. They're all taken. They're all full, and there's no cars in there. Right? You guys are like, damn. How does he know? Because I used to live in one. So guess what? I used to hate seeing my brother-in-law, and they would come over to visit his mom, my mother-in-law, and I was living in their house. So how do you think I felt as a man? Didn't feel very well. So I was always looking for something. It wasn't looking for me, I was looking for it. Right. And see, a lot of people, you stop looking. Stop thinking there's something else better out there, because there's not. Right. Stop trying to reinvent the wheel. Just be coachable to whoever brought you the business. Listen, it took us 18 months to make a 6-figure income because we were naive. Man, I said I was working at Food for Less. I was making $30 an hour back in 1995, and I was working from 5 to about 5:30, and then from 6 to 11, I used to work at Sears because I had to put my wife through nursing school. And I did that for 4 years. I didn't do it because it was exciting. I did it because I saw the possibilities of her being a registered nurse, that we're going to make more money. And then she became a nurse, and it was the same shit. Because guess what? If I have to work all these crazy hours and she has to work these crazy hours, then we never get to see each other. We never spend any time with the family, because when you're a brand new nurse, you work the shitty shifts. And guess what? We never see each other. So what happens in the relationship? What happens with the kids? So I said, no, we need to figure out, because that's not my dream. And I told Alba, you got to do something with people, because you're good with people. See, me, I hate. Not that I hate it now, but I just dislike public speaking. It wasn't something I wanted to do all the time. Because I grew up different, okay? What I'm trying to tell you is that you can do it. Right. It's possible. You come in here and you keep an open mind that you can do it. So look, when I was making $30 an hour and they showed me you can make $200 to $900, it was pretty simple. $200 to $900, it's called Big Bank Take Away Little Bank. It's called 2 Chainz, right? You know the song, right? Some of you guys, you know, right? You're like, yeah, some of you guys are thinking, what the hell is he talking about? See, but I got a young son, so I'm hip to everything in the game right now, right? So it's pretty common sense. If you're making $30 an hour and somebody can show you how to make $200 to $900, why wouldn't you be open to it? And you don't have to leave what you're doing. Okay, so Alba and I, we just came in here naive, and we started helping families. And we saw how Primerica helped families. You know, I researched the company, but the first thing I researched was my bank account. Right. See, a lot of you guys start researching. What is there to research? Have you researched yourself? Right. Nobody wants to follow you. That's what you should be looking at. You should be looking at how can I get better as a person? Not how can something get better for somebody trying to give you more for doing less. See, we complain about our jobs, right? But what have you done for your job lately? You think because you've been there 10 years, you're invested, they should give you $5? No, you gotta get better in the marketplace. Right. That's what you gotta do. You gotta find something that's you can create wealth instead of making somebody wealthy. Okay? And look, guys. Look, I wasn't born with a silver spoon, but I always wanted the silver spoon. Right. Okay, because I've seen people like the lifestyle. It's not about the money. It's about the things that you can do with the money. How you can help people, like Kefren, you know, going to Peru. That stuff motivates me. Because it's not about the money. It's not you want nice clothes and things, but that gets old after a while. That's just materialistic. That's stuff you don't take with you. But can you create memories for people? Can you impact people? Can you give to your church? Can you give to somebody that's more in need than you? It's not about the fancy car. Yeah, we have a nice car. You know what's funny? About a month ago, my wife and I, we had a date night or date weekend or whatever, right? And I just want to, I love my wife to death. I love my family. But we went to, Nobu, right? Everybody know Nobu?
Yeah.
Okay, right, so Malibu, right? So we rented a little Airbnb thing. It was like a block away from it. We even walked over there. No, we didn't walk. Yeah, we didn't walk, but we got in the car, right? And we're just casual, whatever. And we're like the only Mexicans in there, right? Look at us like, no, I'm not the porter, bro. I fit the description, but I'm not him. Right? But it feels good that it doesn't matter what nationality you are, because we all have stereotypes.
Yeah.
Just be honest.
Yeah.
Okay? Like I used to tell my kids when they were little, I go, there's two types of Mexicans. If they're gonna call you a Mexican, that's cool. But there's two types. You're either a Mexican or you're a Mexican. Okay? And when I say the Mexican, is that you're doing something different. That you can go make something happen. So if you're a Salvadoran, you're the Salvadoran that can. You see what I'm saying? Or whatever it is. Okay? And it feels good to do those things, because I remember, like my wife said, we used to go to drive down the street and the kids would be excited about seeing the McDonald's just to go play in the little playground. But you know what, you sit them in the playground, that's how they get you to go buy some chicken nuggets or whatever, right? Happy Meal, right? But we didn't have the money to do it. So we'd have to have them look a different direction because we were broke as a joke, right? And that frustrated me as a man. I promised my wife a great life, and I was lying to her. See, as a man or a woman, you got to take ownership of your situation. You got to be bigger than your circumstance.
Right.
Okay, you got to change that. And like I said, we went to Nobu, right? And we rented we just went out there. I go, let's go to the beach. Let's go have some lunch or do something. And then, we're gonna figure out how to rent a hotel. We're A's. We just go. Let's go. We'll figure it out, right? And it was a busy weekend. I think what weekend was it? Yeah, Memorial Weekend. And called all the hotels. We're booked. I'm like, we'll find something. So we found this place, right? So we go to Nobu, and then you can just tell a couple people looking at us like, what's these Mexicans or Latinos doing here, right? Blah blah blah, right? So I find it funny, okay? It kind of motivates me more. So right. So anyways, we leave the car or whatever, then we come out. We had lunch or dinner, whatever it was, and then there was this couple that was just looking at us, right? I'm like, okay, right? You're gonna stop looking, right? I'm like, all right. So I parked valet, right? And now they're looking at us. They were looking at us to see what we're gonna get in, and then all I hear is, "Oh, Maserati, right?" My wife drives a Maserati, right? And they were looking at us like, okay, Mexican, you see what I'm saying? Right? But it's fun because guess what? My wife and I, we come from humble beginnings, and it's not, like I said, it's not about the money. It's just about the things that you can accomplish and how you can help other people. Like, I'm talking to our daughter right now, and she'll be 13, right? And she's really good in soccer. She played on some club teams, and she's really good. She's like my height. She's gonna be 13, and she's already like 5'7", and she has that soccer body, and she can run. She's fast, right? So I'm like, hey, what high school do you want to go to? And I just said, how about Beverly Hills? And she's like, yeah, I'll go to Beverly Hills, right? But she goes, I go, I don't care if I have to go rent a condo over there or whatever it is. It'll take you, whatever you want to do. I don't care. The sky's the limit. Whatever you want to do, it's not because it's Beverly Hills. I just threw it out there just to throw it out there. But it's, what are you showing your children? What are you showing your wife? Do you show her small or do you show her big? Do you cap your family? Like my son, we all have a regulator, like driving a car, right? The speed limit says 65. If you go past 80, you're gonna get a ticket pretty much, right? But why does the car say you can go 120? See, but see, you have a regulator too. you're going through life, you're just cruising through life because everybody else is cruising through life, but you have a lot of gas to give, and you're not giving it. Because you got that regulator, the government says you can't do it, but why can't you do it? See? And you got to start thinking big. You got to start thinking outside the box, that anything is possible. So if you come in here, like my son, our son, he's only 20 years old. He's at 97 or 96,000 in cash flow, and he's a 20-year-old kid, young entrepreneur that wants to do something. Like he says, he doesn't speak perfect, where none of us are public speaking, but he has a will to win. Right. Because he's been programmed, right, to win, to think big. Like as a Hispanic, guess what? So check this out, as a Hispanic, if you play football, right, the first thing, hey, what position you play? The line? Because you're a big Mexican dude or big Latino, right? You play the line, right? He played cornerback. Cornerback, you're chasing the receivers, so you got to be fast. Okay? Now, how many fast Mexicans are there? Not a lot of them. Okay? Right? So guess what? As a kid, he always hung around all the fast kids. I go, hang around with, surround yourself with who you want to become. Okay? So if it's this kids that are fast, hang around with them. You'll get faster. You'll get better. See, but who do we surround ourselves with? And that's why he got into Division I college, right? He used to, like, you would see his highlight film, and after he would take out his helmet and be scouts there. Oh, he's Hispanic, no. You get the look. You get a 2-second look, and nope. They don't want him. See, but he beat those odds. Now he's 20 years old. Going to make a 6-figure income, beat those odds, because he's been programmed, not programmed, but he's been taught how to think big. And we as parents, or we as husbands, as we as people, we need to show people big, because life is too short to just thinking small. You know, you have like Alba and I trip out. I went to an appointment the other day, whatever. And it was in like an apartment, and you see a big old 85-inch screen TV. It's probably as big as that right there. Big as the wall. It took up their whole wall. Right? I didn't even have to see the number, because I just saw the big old screen TV that caught my attention. Right? And I'm like, somebody has a theater room in their apartment or what? Right? But see, that's broke thinking. You got TVs in every room, but you don't even have one book in your house. Make sense? Look, guys, you have an obligation to take this hierarchy to the next level. Okay? I see greatness in this room. I see brothers and sisters here that I know for a long time, and look, I see the people here, and I think, man, there's an explosion here going to happen. There's something that's going to happen so quick that you're not going to know what happened. So you're either going to be part of it, or you're going to just be somebody that just came and said, hey, you know what, they were cool people, and left. And then 2 years later, you come back here, and then you see somebody else that's winning. Okay? I just want to thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I want to thank Mark and Stacia Cox for giving us opportunity and come over here and giving us opportunity to talk to you guys. You know, we're just super excited to be here. I just want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. We appreciate it. Thank you guys.